In my last video, I talked about the importance of getting out of the matrix. And in particular, the matrix I was talking about, the internet, social media.
Who wants to
I recently
begin?
watched the video Just Pearly Things put out with Andrew Tate and Brittany Renner. I found that video compelling. There were teaching points, there were things that I found on both sides of the fence that were crucial to talk about, and that's what I want to do in this video. A couple of weeks ago, I had several different people send me clips that Pearl had made on her channel, and they asked what my opinion was. I don't watch female content, so I watch the clips, and I don't really care either way. Her message isn't for men. Maybe she slants toward men in saying what she says, but she's a woman, and in my opinion, she has no place in the manosphere. Now, red pill content, women need to be red pilled as well. So I guess if I was going to look at a sum total, I think that she's probably a net positive in the grand scheme of things. But this video isn't about her per se. Although I think that it was really cool that she brought Renner and Tate together, because those are polar opposites. You've got a woman that has no value, that is laid on her back and found herself a sense of notoriety, and then you've got a man that is looked at as a high value man, and it was a cool contrast. But one of the thing that I highly disagree with Andrew Tate on, and a lot of these red pill content creators speak the same ideology, and that's this idea that men have this imperative and should be expected to and allowed to cheat, to roam, to do as they see fit. Now, I get where he's coming from. Several periods in my life, I've been in a position where that access came way easy. And it wasn't because I was an awesome dude or any of that shit. And very, very clear, it was because of what I represented at the time. And so whenever you have groupies, no matter what it is, whether you're a professional athlete or you're just a baller or rock star, movie star, it doesn't matter. Whenever people look at you as having value because what you represent or what you have, then you have easier access. And those men that are in that position, because of this access, they're prone to do those things. But this idea that women are supposed to expect that and accept it from a man that they give themselves to, I think that's a faulty logic. While again, I get it, I understand where you're coming from. I think that it's absolute horseshit to expect a woman to accept something that a man wouldn't accept. I get it. It's all different. It's different for women, different for men. I get it. I agree with that 100%. But we're trying to build healthy relationships. We're trying to bridge this gap between men and women. And if and when a man finds a woman who is indeed a good woman and he goes about his business like she should sit there and let him cheat, inevitably that man's going to lose that woman. No matter what he has, no matter what he thinks he's worth, no matter what he believes, just like a washed up woman loses her worth, a man who looks through a woman who gives her heart to him and does that and has no feelings whatsoever other than you should accept it and get over it because I'm awesome, that man's delusional. That's childish thinking. And I have to be honest, I've done it myself. But until you look into the eyes of a woman who truly loves you, who has given her heart, her soul, her life to you, and speaks to you, looking in your eyes and is asking for a reason for your betrayal of her trust, if and when you reach that point, you realize that this idea that it's harmless and that you should be able to do these things, it's extremely faulty. It comes with a very high price. And as a man, it doesn't feel good when you hurt someone that way. And I know that from firsthand experience. And so, to the men who listen to this channel, to the men who listen to Andrew Tate, and who look to him as someone who is to be listened to and is guiding you, I would highly encourage you to take that weapon out of your arsenal. If you're just going about your business, having fun, figuring your way out in life, and you're just dating and going through that gamut, then do as you see fit. But if and when you find someone that you truly care about, someone who loves you, guard that person's heart, because good women like that don't come that often in life. And if and when you stick a knife in that woman's heart, I promise you the universe will pay you back in spades for what you did to one of God's angels. Now, what I really want to talk about in this video here is Brittany Renner. I've held back several times from making videos about this girl because in trying to do it, it's absolutely repulsive. Everything about this girl is disgusting, from the way she talks, the way she carries herself, this false bravado that she presents. But at the same time as she's repulsive, it's also extremely sad to see someone go through this delusion that she's willfully accepted in her life. And so many young women have fallen for this lie, this belief that they can do whatever they want when they're young and spoil their youth, throw away their most valuable years, and then expect men to be waiting at their finish line when they're finished. That's the biggest delusion. It's one of the biggest lies that has been sold to women. Watching Brittany Renner, listening to her talk, listening to her trying to justify and make excuses for what she's done and who she's been, while at the same breath saying she doesn't need to make excuses because she has nothing to, the double speak and the mental gymnastics that were on display in that video were nothing less than phenomenal. But I think the take-home point and the main thing that I want men to know is, looking at Brittany Renner, she is the epitome of what Western women stand for. Even though some women who move in that circle, they may be more refined. They don't speak as much like gutter rats as Brittany Renner does. That's their soul. When you listen to her talk, when you look at her movements, when you listen to the vile expressions that come out of this woman's mouth, that's the soul of every woman who swings from D to D, who thinks that her liberation comes from men being willing to lay her down, but none of them being willing to wife her up. See, so many women like Brittany Renner go through life thinking that just because men will lay up with them that they have value. And too many of these women like her, Amber Rose, Kim Kardashian, women who have nothing, no talent, no worth whatsoever other than a physical appeal, these women can only offer one thing. And one of the things that's really hard for young men or men who have gone through life and don't have access to women, once you've eaten a couple of slices of pizza, it's just pizza. And when you find a woman who is acrobatic, when she can Cirque du Soleil on your D, you've found a 304. You have found a Brittany Renner. You have found an Amber Rose. You have found a woman whose only worth is laying on her back. And women like Brittany Renner brag about it. That alter ego that she goes into, which is I suck a dude. That's who she really is. She's learned to refine herself to where she goes around men of substance and she's a chameleon. That's what these women are. That's what they do well. They go and they assimilate to whatever the man that's sitting across from them, whatever person they're trying to indoctrinate into their cave, their canyon. Whenever they're trying to bring that man into their clutches, they're going to form themselves. They're going to shift themselves into being, speaking, acting like what that man wants. That's what Brittany Renner does. But she's such a gutter rat, she shoots low for rappers and basketball players, athletes, dummies. I would argue that very high, the majority of women that you're going to run into on this Matrix platform, any of these Instagram models or even Facebook wannabe models, these women who are constantly showing themselves, objectifying themselves, these women, whether they're as repulsive and loud and on display as Brittany Renner, it's all the same game. It's all the same outcome. It's all the same exact spirit that's running through these women. And so to you young men that find yourself in this digital age where everything is being pushed to the metaverse, to where you're living through this avatar and being attracted to the most baseline of what we are as people, this is why I say you got to get off the matrix. You got to get out of all of these things and stop going for things that are only appealing to the eyes. Women like Brittany Renner are ugly on the inside of their soul. She's ugly when she takes her makeup off. But these people are able to facilitate this facade because they got a big butt and they use their youth and they destroy themselves. Men who think that it's their imperative to go and sleep with these women and these women and these women are all part of the same problem that we complain about. Women giving themselves away too easily. Just because you feel like you're some top G, class A, alpha male, high, whatever fucking goofy terms, that doesn't negate the responsibility of further damage in a broken woman or leading that woman down a path of lies so you can meet your end game. We cannot be speaking out of both sides of our mouth saying we expect things to be this way while moving another way. And we can't take things for granted when we get something that we say we want. We can't treat it like something that's worthless like Brittany Renner. I think for young men watching this train wreck that's being displayed by her own hand at her own will is a beautiful lesson. This is who these women are. This is what they do. This is how they move. This is how they act. This is how they talk. Why would you want to be the next man in line for someone like that? Why would you dare throw your life away by trying to change someone like that? And for the young girls who have gone down this Kardashian path of banking only on your youth and your beauty, I can guarantee you this: you laugh now, you will cry later. You spoil your youth, you swing from D to D thinking that the party will never end. You will be like those watching the Titanic sink when you realize at 30 that you're no longer that cute little 20-year-old. When men and society starts telling you the truth, stop opening doors and telling you you're only good for one thing, realize that if you get yourself in that position, you did this to yourself by following these false idols, these worthless women who only had their looks and laying on their back to offer men. I think it's very ironic, or maybe it's poetic, how all of these women who run around talking about how they don't need men extract resources from men. They don't fly themselves to Dubai. They're not buying these meals. And if they are, they're using money that they got from men. Again, men, remove yourself from this game. Remove yourself from the matrix. And if and when it looks like a duck, treat it like a duck. And what I mean by that, if and when it looks like a 304, a nasty whore, just play it for what you think it is. Play it for what you feel it is. Don't be like these men that fall prey to women like Brittany Renner who say, that's in my past, I'm different now. The tiger doesn't change its stripe, and whores don't change their ways. Out.